Hello everybody, Kemo Sabi here, coming at you with another video. This one's off of Mint Press News webpage, a write-up by Joe Catron, with the topic of Meet 10 Corporate Giants Helping Israel Massacre Gaza Protesters. The Israeli military relies on a network of international companies, supplying everything from sniper rifles to tear gas to carry out its massacres of protesters in Gaza. These companies are knowingly supporting war crimes and are complicit in state-orchestrated murder. Tom Anderson, researcher for corporate occupation. Published October 12, 2018. By Joe Catron. New York, as Israel soldiers gunned down unarmed Palestine demonstrators in the Great March of Return, their lethal operations depend on an array of contractors and suppliers, many of them companies based outside Israel. The Israeli military relies on a network of international companies supplying everything from sniper rifles to tear gas to carry out its massacres and protesters in Gaza. Tom Anderson, a researcher for corporate operation, told Mint Press News. These companies are knowingly supporting war crimes and are complicit in state-orchestrated murder. Since the mobilization began on March 30th, Israeli forces have killed 205 Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. The United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs in the occupied Palestinian territory reported on October 4th. There has been 21,288 injured, including 5,345 from live ammunition, resulting in 11,180 hospitalizations. 38 of the dead and 4,250 of the wounded were children. A press release accompanying September 5th report by the World Bank warned the economy in Gaza is collapsing, adding that the decade-long blockade is a core issue. Corporate occupation in the American Friends Service Committee and the Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions BDS movement and Who Profits maintain comprehensive lists of corporations enabling Israeli crimes against Palestinians. Here are a few of them. Caterpillar Inc. Caterpillar is known internationally for Israel's use of its bulldozers to demolish Palestinian homes in the occupied West Bank and inside Israel itself, as well as for its role in killing of Rachel Corrie, an international solidarity movement activist from the United States, who was crushed to death by one of the company's Israel-operated machines in the southern Gaza Strip on March 16, 2003. In Gaza, Caterpillar is notorious for Israel's development of its equipment to reinforce a military barrier around the Strip, as well as to level Palestine farmland inside it. These leveling operations both destroy Palestine agriculture, giving Gaza a captive market for Israeli producers, and maintain a clear line of fire for Israeli soldiers to shoot Palestinians. Combined Systems Inc. Combined Systems, a Jamestown, Pennsylvania-based manufacturer owned by Point Lookout Capital and Carroll Group, supplies light weaponry and security equipment such as tear gas and flash grenades to repressive governments worldwide. In May, corporate occupation researchers spotted an Israeli vehicle with police markings but obviously intended for military use, equipped with the company's Venom tear gas launcher next to the Gaza barrier. Ford Motor Company. While other manufacturers like General Motors also provide vehicles used by the Israeli army to deploy its soldiers along the Gaza barrier, Fords are distinctive for the creative use. In 2003, Israeli vehicle manufacturer Hathof began retrofitting Ford F-550 trucks as armored personnel carriers. By 2016, Israel had moved on to F-350s modified by Israeli military electronics company Elbit Systems as autonomous unmanned vehicles capable of remotely controlled fire. Monsanto, also now known as Bayer, and Monsanto was merged with Bayer. Still calling them Monsanto. Some people might get a little upset and say, but they're Bayer, but it's still Monsanto and Bayer combined. So, Monsanto, along with herbicides from the Dow Company and ADAMA, Agriculture Solutions, an Israeli unit of China's state-owned National Chemical Corporation, ChemChina Israel, sprays Bayer subsidy Monsanto notorious glyphosate, marked as Roundup, a known human carcinogen, on Palestinian fields across its military barrier with Gaza several times annually, as does its deployment of Caterpillar bulldozers to level the same fields. The aerial application, conducted by two civilian Israeli companies under contract to the army, serves both Israeli economic and military interests, preventing Palestinian self-sufficiency in agriculture, while allowing its forces to easily detect and fire upon Palestinian farmers and other civilians using their own land. G4S plc, formerly known as Israel's biggest occupation contractors, G4S sold its major Israeli subsidiary G4S Israel in 2016, but kept a stake in the construction and operation of policy. Like politics, but with a Y on the end. Israel's privatized National Police Academy. Israel claims that its police enjoy civilian status, but routinely deploy them in military operations against Palestinians in both the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, including their use of both combined systems venom tear gas launcher and weaponized drones to repress the Great March of Return. Hewlett-Packard. Now, three companies with interlocking operations, HP Inc., Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, HPE, and DXC Technology. HP equips the Israeli military with computers and has undertaken contracts to virtualize IDF operations starting in 2007 with a pilot program for the Israeli Navy, which enforces the blockade of Gaza. HSBC Bank plc. HSBC provides extensive financing to some of the most notorious military manufacturers in the world, several of them Israeli. HSBC holds over 800 million pounds worth of shares, euros, 800 million euros worth of shares in, and is involved in syndicated loans worth over 19 billion euros to companies that sell weapons and military equipment to the Israeli government. Huda Ammori, campaigns officer for the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, told Mint Press these investments include Elbit Systems, Israel's largest private security firm, which markets its weapons as field tested due to them being tested on Palestine civilians in Gaza. A leading drone manufacturer, Elbit, has played a key role in aerial attacks on the Great March of Return. Motorola Solutions Inc. Motorola provides the encrypted smartphones the Israeli military uses to deploy soldiers, as well as radio and communications services for the Israeli police. Remington. Among casualties of the Great March of Return, Amnesty International reports some wounds bear the hallmarks of U.S.-manufactured M24 Remington sniper rifles shooting 7.62mm hunting ammunition, which expand and mushroom inside the body, along with others indicative of Israeli weapon industry's travel rifles. In the United States, this is sold as a hunting rifle to kill deer. Brian Castor, a weapons specialist for the human rights organization, said in April. Sabra Dipping Company, LLC, the White Plains, New York-based food manufacturer co-owned by PepsiCo and Israeli food maker Strauss, has donated food packages to the Israeli Army Golani Brigade, notorious for its human rights abuse in both Gaza and the West Bank. We must channel our rage. As the Great March of Return, now is in its 29th week, continues, participants and supporters say targeting firms complicit in its representation is one of the most effective means of solidarity. We must channel our rage at Israel's atrocities into effective actions to hold Israel accountable. The BDS National Committee said in a statement on April 12th, together we can escalate boycott, divestment, and sanction BDS campaigns. Israel is meeting the Palestine protesters with live fire, massacring over 190 Palestinians to date, Ammori told Mint Press. Israel's racist discrimination and brutal violence is evident, and the campaign to end complicity is vital. Top photo. Relatives of Palestine Mohammed al-Sadiq, 21, mourn at the family home during his funeral in Gaza City, September 25, 2018. Al-Sadiq was killed and at least 10 others wounded by Israel soldiers during a protest near Gaza. Kali Hamra AP. Joe Catron is a Mint Press News journalist covering Palestine and Israel. He is also a solidarity activist and a freelance reporter. Recently returned to New York from Gaza, Palestine, where he lived for 3.5 years. He has written frequently for electronic Intifadada and Middle East Eye, and co-edited The Prisoner's Diaries, Palestinian Voices from the Israeli Gulag, and an anthology of accounts by detainees freed in 2011 prisoner exchange. Hopefully you enjoyed the write-up, everybody. It'd be awesome if you subscribed. Great if you hit that bell. Leave me some comments, and I'll for sure comment back to you. Been great as always. We'll see you in the next one, everybody. Kemo Sabi out. Bye.